This is called Everything I Need to Know About Dealing with Concern Trolls I Learned in Stand-Up Comedy. There's a lot of things that stand-up comedy has given me. Some of them negative, but here's some, positive ones. Okay. It's January. It's dark. It's cold. The sun sets at 2:13 p.m. All the various festivals of lights and all their multiple trappings are over. So, naturally, human beings being our own worst bullies, right? Like doom scrolling is basically just cyber bullying yourself. We've collectively decided, yes, indeed, this is the perfect moment to make major life habit changes. Because, we buy a new calendar and start writing a new year on our checks. Even though none of us really write checks anymore. And also, when I was still writing checks, it would take me like a month and a half to get to the point where I was writing the next year. Anyway, my intense New Year's Scroogehood notwithstanding, I don't have enough Quixotic. I probably shouldn't put words in my Substack that I don't know how to pronounce, because then we run into this problem. Although that's a common problem of people who read early. We know a lot of words that we've read that we have no idea how to pronounce. Confidence to believe I can wrestle New Year's based holiday cheer away from Weight Watchers / hey, let's crowd the gym at January focus. However, National Body Hatred Month is a great time to address the friend suggested topic, how to deal with concern trolls, since in my experience, other people's bodies is the focus of most folks' concern trolliness, or foci, I guess. The complication to this plan is I wasn't sure I had any helpful contributions to this topic. But I'm a stand-up comic, and we do have ways of dealing with hecklers. And what is a concern troll but a heckler at the family dinner table? So, concern troll combat comedy trick number 1. Carry a comedy notebook. This sounds very simple, right? But this tip is listed first because unless folks are quite committed, really, really committed to their concern trolling, it can substantially decrease the need for other tips. People think twice about saying some dumb shit if they think it might land them in your one-person show. So you just listen for the triggers. No offense, but I know you think it's okay. You didn't ask my opinion, but... And then if you're in more progressive company, it's usually, I don't mean to be ableist, but... I'm not fat phobic, but... I know you don't believe in essential oils, but... Then, when that happens, when you hear one of those triggers, dramatically pull out your comedy notebook. I wish I'd kept my comedy book. Okay, just one second. Dramatically pull out your comedy notebook. Hold one finger up while you search for a pen. That's very important because it halts the conversation. Lean forward expectantly, writing instrument poised. The first time you do this, you can add, "Oh, I can't wait for this," with a big, joyous smile. Under most circumstances, you will need to say that precisely one time. Under many circumstances. You don't need to be a stand-up comic for this to be effective. Your show can always be in process. If anyone challenges you, just look really hurt and exasperated and explain, creativity takes time. Really, my family started behaving so much better just instantly when I started bringing 3x5 cards to the family reunion. It's really true. So, concern troll, comedy, combat trick number 2, call the room. Calling the room is stating the current environment and happenings, often in the simplest terms possible. An example from a performance at Philly Outfest circa 2002. Protesters, "You're a dyke! You're dyke! Dyke! You're a big dyke!" Me, "Oh, we're all just yelling obvious things through a megaphone then? That's the whole plan for the afternoon?" That response is not particularly funny or clever, and it's definitely not original. But for reasons probably related to evolutionary biology, we're relieved that someone mentioned the saber-toothed tiger that's stalking us. Calling the room almost always gets a laugh. So, in concern troll combat, you might say, "We're changing the topic from Trump to my weight. We all agreed?" Or, "So, it's now time to discuss my general medical history as well as my reproductive decisions?" Or, "I see. So we're all going to take turns suggesting common alternative treatments for a chronic condition I've been battling for 15 years. Even if no one laughs, you will have still created text from subtext, and this is almost always a win. Is calling the room passive-aggressive when it's not done from stage? As I write this and say it out loud, yes, perhaps. But whatever. They're the ones concern trolling. They started it. CTCCT number 3. That's hard to say. This is why I should read it out loud before I even write it. Repeat, well, I can't do that before I write it, but after I write it. Repeat the heckle/comment back to the person who said it, but slowly, very slowly. The more slowly, the better. This can be painful if the comment was, well, painful, but I promise you, nothing creates a tiny persistent doubt more effectively than hearing the sentence you just said come out of somebody else's mouth with a 7.2 second gap between words. I've used this technique with hecklers at a frat party in Stanford. Why I was performing for a frat party in Stanford is a question for Kelli of 15 years ago, as well as her questionable judgment. I've also used it with overzealous, middle-aged, advicey lesbians at a suburban birthday party. Why I agreed to perform at a suburban birthday party full of middle-aged, advicey lesbians, again, a question for past Kelli. I've used it with real live actual teenagers. I adore teenagers, but we can all agree that they probably, due to evolutionary biology, someone must laugh at our outdated modes of avoiding saber-toothed tigers. They are natural, if often unintentional, hecklers. My lawyer, if I had one, would remind me to remind you that this is meant as peer support and is not professional health advice. Like you would think that. Anyway, whatever. My ethics are reminding me to remind you that you're the expert on your own life and whether the suggestion would work in any particular concern troll related situation you might find yourself. My heart is reminding me to remind you that whether you love or hate your body, or more likely, something in between, unless you're using your body to, stab someone, you're not failing. This is true both in January and in all the other less ambitious months.